Welcome everyone to our Sunday sentiments. This week we are covering 4 stories, and we'll start with good news, a good news story from Kenya. The story is called Adopt a Family. And this story actually has been covered in the Kenyan media at the beginning of COVID around May, June, July. But it caught my interest when it was covered in the Danish media this week or last week, I can't remember when, which awoke my interest. I had not heard of this program. So this Adopt a Family scheme, it's an initiative started by a Kenyan from Kibra, Nairobi. And this is an initiative that has been started to help people who are hard hit by COVID-19. And the reason being that there's a time in Kenya where the government had given a directive that people would stay home and social distance. That was at the beginning of COVID. And then many people who live in this Kibra area, it's a neighborhood, some people would call it slums, they were hard hit because they do informal jobs like preparing food, which they sell at the wayside, and other small jobs that were hard hit because of this directive. So this guy, who himself lives in Kibra, started this initiative so that people in Kenya who are willing would adopt a family from this area and provide means for these people who had lost their income. And this Adopt a Family thing helps in different ways, in 4 ways actually. They have a voucher system, they have food donation, they have direct money transfers, and they set up small-scale businesses to help people who live in that area to be able to support their family. And he said that in good conscience, he could not sit by and watch people, for whole families not having a meal because of this pandemic. He could not in good conscience, and therefore he started this initiative. So I would like to ask the panel, what do you think of this?
Vile hii corona ilianza, tukasimamishwa kazi. From a good Samaritan nikapata 6,000 kwa simu, anaitwa Monica. Akanisaidia nikaweza kupata kushughulikia mambo ya chakula. Niko na watoto 3 na pia niko na mzazi na ni mgonjwa, na kila mtu ndiye alikuwa ananitegemea.
This is my 3rd family to adopt. I looked at it at myself, if it was my family that would be going hungry and not able to provide for themselves. And so I thought I needed to come out in support of these families, and the reason why I have adopted these 3 families so far. Because food is a basic need, and it is so painful for somebody to go hungry while I can provide a meal for them.
So we just like to welcome your comments about this initiative of people helping each other during the pandemic. And maybe we can start with the people from Kenya. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's something good also because they've set an example. Maybe politicians should also adapt that. I just heard it the other day on the radio, that they were saying if you can afford it, at least you can adopt a family. You can at least share what you have with them, because this pandemic has actually hit everyone, and it is not only in Kenya, it's globally. So I think it's also something good that shows that we care about others, and if at all someone can afford it, because even if you say you want to give somebody a job now, you can't, because jobs have been affected too. So if you can have money or you can have food, you can share with whoever you think deserves something.
Thank you. Shiro?
And I also wanted to add that it's the way I understood it, it's like they link the person who wants to adopt a family with a family. And that's a direct link, which is better than maybe giving the funds to the chief or some politician who we know will misuse that money. We already have a government initiative. Actually, the government had said that they would give needy families a certain amount of money per month, but personally, I don't know anyone who receives that money because it goes to the local leaders and they probably put their relatives or people who really are not in need on that list. So they are not, the deserving ones don't end up getting any help. So this is a very good initiative, and it goes along with our African culture of your neighbor's keeper. You want to help your neighbor, you don't want to see your neighbor suffering. It's a fantastic idea, and I think it can be adopted elsewhere as well.
Yeah, thank you, Shiro. So Shiro and Maggie, first of all, and then we'll go to Kirigo. Thank you for sharing that. Maggie, you said that this is a global pandemic, and we know everyone around the world has been impacted financially, economically. So it's actually an idea that can be used elsewhere, not just in Kenya. I also really liked what Shiro said about this is a direct link to families in need. We've had so many scandals over the years of charities getting millions and millions of donations from people, and then the money ending up in the wrong people's hands. For example, if they go to Kenya, some politician gets it, pockets the money, or a lot of it is just used in admin fees, and very little trickles down to the actual people deserving it. So this direct link is really, really good. Yes, Kirigo?
That's exactly actually what I wanted to say, that this Shiro mentioned that people get to give the families directly, because we all know the story of Africa. You're told to help kids by some organization, doesn't really matter which organization it is, and we all know the people in need get very little of the money that's supposed to go to them. It's always the politician or someone who has the reach always takes the money. Someone always takes the money. It normally doesn't go to the people in need. So it's nice for a change that they make something like this, where the money actually goes to the family in need, not some third, fifth, sixth person in between.
Yeah. Thanks, Kirigo. Yeah, Keshi?
And I also wanted to say that it's a great initiative because it started by somebody who lives in the area. So he knows the people's needs, the people know him. So it's great to see communities mobilizing to help each other and not waiting for other people outside to come and help them. So this is a great initiative that should be supported because you're supporting residents to support themselves.
Yeah, thanks, Keshi, for reminding us that it was started by somebody who actually lives in that area. And if you watch the video, you can see that it's a very poor area. People are really struggling. But the sense of community in Kibra is so good. You should see the positive sides of this. Well, they call it a slum, but I don't like that term. But if you see the spirit of innovation and community in this place, there's some really good videos from there, how people are so innovative. They come up with different ideas and support each other. It's such a good community, and they started themselves to help each other. And I found it really interesting because I've spoken to Shiro about this. There are millionaires in Kenya, very, very rich people in Kenya, but very little charity from them. They don't really support disadvantaged Kenyans. Not many of them do. So to see this guy, he lives there himself. It's not that he has much, but he has the heart to help another family who's maybe worse off than him. When you have people, rich people, in Kenya who don't even think of doing this. So it's really kudos to that guy. The government should be ashamed. And I really hope more people, not just in Kenya, but around the world, start thinking of linking directly with people and just supporting those people, our neighbors who are in need.
And I'm very proud as an African, I'm very proud for the person who have done this charitable idea, who put their charitable idea to help the local people in Kenya. And it's also bringing the hopes to the community there, knowing that somebody cares. It's easing also stress from the mothers, like for instance, mothers who could have gone without anything for their children to eat. So it's a very good thing. It might seem like it's a little amount, the way they say the amount there, but to the people in that community, it's everything. It means everything to them. So I'm really, really proud of whoever done this charitable. And I think it's a good thing what they've done, and people should go out there. We should be the voice of this gentleman or woman who have established this thing, and so that people can hear about and more people can support and donate, and it can change more lives, especially the children and families. Thank you.
Thank you, Manette, for sharing your viewpoint. As an African, we're also Africans, and we're very happy to see this positive news coming from the continent. Antonella?
Thank you very much, Ciiku. Quick question, which was, again, please, the name of the district of the area of Nairobi in which the video has taken place?
Kibra.
Kibra, because when I saw the video, I also was Googling on Google Maps, but I didn't catch this information. So I will inform myself more. First of all, I will begin with thanking you, all of you, because you always have nice proposals, and it's very important to every time get to know more about African culture. And by having said this, I'm very happy that people are taking initiative concretely, because I also read in the description of the video that the wealthy residents in Kenya are temporarily adopting these families, but they don't usually do this. So, you know, when we talk about solidarity, sometimes are only nice words, but in this case, there is this concrete help, and it's very great. It is an initiative that I also wanted to ask, is it possible to donate also from Euro?
Keshi, you saw this program on Danish TV. Did you hear them talking about any way Europeans can donate or adopt a family? Or Kirigo has her hand up.
When I watched the video and the comments, somebody was saying that people are donating all the way from Canada. So that means that it is possible for anyone to donate. So it wasn't just Kenyans doing it. The comments or somewhere in the video, I saw that other people from outside of Africa are also donating.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kirigo. Yes, Keshi?
Yeah, and I think this came after light was brought onto this initiative that's started by Moses Omondi from Kibra. So I think people have seen this video on YouTube or in their news and feel that it's a good initiative to support. So most likely one can Google how to contact and how one can support these families. I didn't see anywhere any contact information.
Okay, yes, Shiro, and then we need to move quickly. Yes, Shiro?
There was an earlier video, I think Keshi had referred to it. It was around March, maybe June or something, and I saw the contacts of that Moses in the comment section.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll try and get that information for you guys, but obviously just remember, you might also have a neighbor or someone nearby who needs support, and you know, if you can help someone, then help them. Even the ones closer to you, even better. Was it Yasina or Shamsa who wanted to add something?
It was Yasina.
Yeah, I just want to add something.
Yeah.
Like I think I just go with Minute. Like it's very good thing to start things like that, because like we are spending money on a lot of things which are unnecessary for us, but those money is fulfilling someone's hunger, like stomach. So I think it's very good to use our money for that kind of things, so that one will be happy because of us. And I believe that real happiness lies in making others happy.
What a nice thing to say. Yeah, real happiness comes from making others happy.
Yeah,
Thanks,
so
Yasina. I
thank
can
you,
see
ma'am.
that. Okay, Shamsa, quickly, as Antonella has told us, the time is over, but we can get a quick comment from you.
Yeah, I just want to say helping others is not only good for them, and a good thing to do is it's good for you. You feel, happier and healthier too. So there are so many things to, donate or give. It's not only money. Sometimes they need only, encouragement or everything. You can do that as well. And yeah, as you said that you can help your neighbors as well. So look closer to you, and it's really very great idea and initiative that give someone directly to a family or a person and help them, instead of giving the charity and the government figure they are eating and they are just looking at their pockets. It's very good initiative.
Thank you, Shamsa. Same point as Yasina, you said, we also personally get a good feeling when we help people. So let's all just look around if there's somebody who needs help, and we'll also get you some details if you want to donate to some of these families in Kibra. Okay, so the next story, Keshi is gonna cover it. It's from France, and I'm just let you do a little intro and then I'll play the video.
Yes, so this next story happened on the 21st of November. It's a story that was watched around the world and shocked many people. It's a video footage of policemen, French policemen, beating a black music producer in his own home or in his office. And the footage showed policemen punching, kicking, and using a baton on Michel Zecler, who they alleged that had, no, not alleged, they said that he was not wearing a mask and that there was a strong smell of cannabis coming from his bag, and therefore they approached him, and henceforth came the beating. And yeah, at the press conference, the French public prosecutor said that the three officers seen in the video said they had panicked, but admitted their blows were not justified and that they had mainly acted out of fear. This action was condemned by their president, Emmanuel Macron, that he said it was a shame, it shamed France, and he urged the government to devise new protocols that would reaffirm the link of confidence that should naturally exist between the French and those who protect them. And because of this, it has raised again fears of a new French law proposed by the French government that would restrict people from publishing or broadcasting images of police on duty in certain circumstances, which people say would cover up alleged wrongdoing. So we'll take a look at a quick video.
Police officers brutally beating a man in a music studio in Paris. Images captured on CCTV. Record producer Michel Zecler says police forced their way into his studio, physically and racially abused him without telling him why, and then arrested him.
There was a policeman pointing again at me, hiding. Why? Did they think I was armed? Were they going to shoot if they could find the angle? Of course, I was afraid. I'm a person. I was scared. The people who are supposed to protect me were pointing their guns at me.
French news organisation Loopsider published the footage alongside pictures of Michel's injuries. The video sparked anger from some politicians and French World Cup stars who denounced racism. Prosecutors threw out the case against the producer and opened an investigation into 4 police officers. Under pressure to react, France's Interior Minister condemned the violence.
The pictures are unspeakable. They're extremely shocking, and as soon as I found out about them, about what happened, I asked for the police officers to be suspended.
All 4 police officers have since been arrested. The video of Michel has been highly publicised in France. This is the front page of one of the country's main newspapers. It also comes, though, just a few days after some people say the police used excessive force while clearing a migrant camp from this square.
Okay, so before the video came to light, the officers had accused Zeclair, 41 years old, of resisting arrest and attacking them, which of course you can see from the video, judge for yourself. So because of this and the fears of this new law, the French Interior Minister, the former French Interior Minister, told the media that they are planning to rewrite that article prohibiting people from publishing policemen doing whatever. So they are planning to rewrite it so that, because this has aroused a lot of sentiment and anger, that policemen would be shielded from, yeah, they can attack, they can do anything, but because of a new law, that new law, people would not be able to film them or publish anything filmed. So now what do you think? Yes, Jamila, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have really strong views when it comes to things like police brutality, and the fact that they're so obviously trying to hide everything by saying people can't film when it's your right to film someone if they're doing something wrong. It's like saying if someone was being bullied, you can't film it for proof. So what proof do you have? It's just the police officers word against the other person, and there's like 5 police officers. So how in the world is that fair when you want to say that they were beating you up for no reason, and there's clear evidence that they were doing it for no reason, there was no provoking or anything, and then they can just say, oh well, there was no video footage, you're not allowed to use that video footage, it's against the law, even though it shows what actually happened, like it could be doctored or something like that. I just find it ridiculous, and the fact that they're openly doing this, first of all, is embarrassing, and people will protest against it, because how are you going to stop people in a time where smartphones and videoing is actually saving a lot of lives? You're going to stop them from doing that, especially in a place like France, like a place everyone knows about. Then that might even give the police or like the government in America to do the same thing, and then so many people will be killed because a new law that you can't video is passed. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, anyone else who has anything to say about this police brutality and the prospect of a law that prohibits public?
Yeah.
By the way, this was a CCTV, so there was no sound. So the man claimed that they called him they called him all sorts of racial insults, but because there's no sound, it's his word against them. They deny this and say, no, we didn't do that. So imagine if there is no recording whatsoever allowed. What do you think? How do you think this would play out during arrests?
I want to say something.
Yes, Shamsa?
As when we talk about the law, if they pass this new law, this is not, every law should be, considered fundamental rights. So for me, this, law is not according to or as per our fundamental rights. When a smartphone is taking, not taking, it took, a very important thing in our lives. We are doing everything on phone. So why we can't film as a proof or as an evidence in other countries? They're accepting as an evidence the film footage. Why we can't film them when we can make a good proof of that? This law should be challenged in that country. And second thing, it's really brutal when and we can't comment, we are only commenting, but as new report, they are charged with this brutality. The 3 officers are charged in the magistrate court. So it's proven that they took, wrongfully, they misused their authority, and they did very wrong, because they were officials, and they were using their authority very they took they applied force, and they applied their office wrongly, so they charged with that.
Thank you. They also admitted that they had the blows were not justified. So it's not like somebody's claiming, alleging. It is seen on video. But I've seen arguments for this law was that the idea was the law was to protect policemen from being attacked when they are off duty by when people view these videos and can target them when they're off duties and attack them.
They shouldn't do it in the first place.
Yes, Shiro?
That doesn't really make sense, because if they were not harassing, attacking people, no one would attack them on the street in revenge. They should just do their work according to the law with respect, without abusing or attacking anybody.
Yeah,
They would not be at risk otherwise.
That's true. And Manette, I saw your hand up.
Yes, I think it's against the law for a police officer to come in somebody's house without a warrant of arrest. In the first place, you are trespassing. So the way they're protecting the police, they have also to see a review in this law. You can't just say you're protecting the police. As a president, that shows a kind of person he is. He's a racist person, because why will you just protect one-sided? Why will it be one-sided? There should be a law that says they protect both the parties, both the police and both the people themselves. You cannot be a president of a country who have multi people in there. There's a lot of people from Belgium, a lot of Congolese descendants because they colonized Congo, a lot of different people, white people, black people in France. So that law should be challenged internationally, because a law can only become a law because it started as a bill. So if it's a bill, it can be challenges. They can be challenged. They can challenge the bill in a court of European law, because France doesn't have the power only to establish that law, because it's part of Europe. So because that's according to the Article 19 and the Article 8 of Human Rights of 1998 of Human Rights Convention. Because once they are still in Europe, they don't have the single view on saying something by themselves, because they are part of Europe. So I think Germany and others should intervene and just protect this law from going through, stopping it from going through. I think so.
Yeah, interesting comment. I just want to mention that it was interesting you brought in the aspect of race, because as I was doing research for this topic, I saw this article where the woman behind France Black Lives Matter movements wants a race-blind society to recognize its racism. Apparently in France, France is considered a color-blind country. And it says that since the end of World War II, the French government does not keep statistics on race, ethnicity, or religion. It considers itself a universal republic in which all citizens are equal in the eyes of the state. But regardless of this, there has been endlessly documented incidents where the police, as an institution, has acted this way, discriminate against those kind of minorities. So it's interesting that this aspect really was not being highlighted, but the Black Lives Matter movement in France wanted to be recognized as a racial incident, not just police brutality. What do you say? Ciiku?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to comment on what Jamila said earlier, which I think was a really good point, that if a country such as France decides to pass this kind of law, it will set a precedent for other Western countries, you know, America as one of them, to think, yeah, we should also pass this law to protect policemen that are acting unlawfully. I don't think anyone has an issue with police just doing their job as they should, but this level of brutality and force on someone in their personal property is actually unlawful, and it shouldn't be protected. and Manette said that. Keshi, you're right. The thing has been reported in the French news as just police brutality, but we know that many migrants and people from minority groups have said that they do suffer that institutional racism from people in positions of power, such as the police. So as long as the government keeps ignoring and saying they're colorblind, then this issue is not going to go away, because their response will be like, oh, that's not racist, we're colorblind, that's just XYZ, and ignoring and dismissing people's lived experiences. So maybe, yeah, France needs to start listening to people who are actually experiencing these things and not decide for them that, you know, racism is not an issue.
Thank you, Shiko. How about you, Kerigo?
Oh yeah, I totally agree with what Shiko said. How can the people who do not experience racism come up and speak for us and say there is no racism, or try to say it's just brutality? Nope. As the people who experience racism, if it's racism or not, do not attempt to speak for us. It's the same thing also here in Denmark, where people deny this racism. I love Denmark and I view Denmark also as my country, the same way I view Kenya as my country. And it's the same thing where people try to say, it's not racism, you're being oversensitive. No, you've never experienced racism, so you cannot walk in my shoes. So don't attempt to say what I should feel. I'm the one who should say what I'm feeling, because I'm the one who's experienced it, not you. It's the way the system is trying to deny that they have racism. They try to point out that it's only, for example, in the US that has racism. But most European countries have racism, and it's time we address it, because we see ourselves as part of the population. We are not going anywhere. We view the countries we live in also as our homes.
Thank you, Kerigo. How about you, Jamila? You have a point?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on like the fact that they are meant to be colorblind. I find that they have a lot of sneaky laws that stop people from proving that there's something such as racism. First, they want to stop people being able to show video footage of it happening, and then they also have something that they don't show the statistics. So you could have so many people complain, but they want to say we're colorblind, we can't use the statistics. Like, clearly we're not racist, but you don't have any proof. You don't want to make proof that there is. So you pretending it's not there isn't gonna make everyone else be like, okay, since they're pretending, let's stop talking about it. And also the video footage, then after thinking about this, I'm like, what's the point of CCTV if you can't use it because there's a police officer and it's put there for a reason to video things and be used in courts? What's the point of having CCTV? You might as well just get rid of it. If they want to get rid of people videoing the police, then what's the point?
Thank you, Jamila. And Shiko, I saw your hand up.
I'm just gonna respond to what Jamila has said. First of all, we know that the policemen had lied initially when they didn't know that there was a video. So that just shows how important these recordings are. Because if there wasn't a recording, it really would have been their word against his. So 3 white policemen and 1 black guy who everyone will be like, he looks like a criminal or whatever. So we know who they would believe. So that guy is so lucky, even though they broke into his personal property. In a way, it's good they did, because that's where the video was, and that's the thing that saved him. According to Jamila's point of CCTV, when I studied criminology, we always talked about this recording of citizens. So it's justified by our governments that they need to record us to keep us safe. Well, then give citizens the power to also record brutality and police misbehaving to keep themselves safe. Otherwise, we're just going to have police states acting on people and people not having any power to keep themselves safe, and that is very dangerous. That leads to then governments like the ones we have back home in Kenya, in other African countries, in Asia, you know, where police just do whatever they like and you have no power at all. That's a very dangerous position to be in, especially in what we think of as a developed part of the world, in Europe. Antonella, time?
I wrote you a message that the time was over in private because I didn't want to interrupt the conversation, and I was also listening to
Okay, thank you guys.